I've made a horror game in 1.5 months about an evil snowman that tries to turn you and your family into snowmen. Some time has passed since my last upload, but that is simply because making games is hard. So after releasing my first, definitely not absolute garbage trash of a game on itch, I wanted to make another one, but this time with a story. So I came up with a game idea, started working on it, and gave up after around a week because I thought it was way too ambitious for me at the time, even though it wasn't really that big. I took some days off, came up with another idea, even more difficult, with dialogues, choices, and multiple endings. It was supposed to be a simple Halloween trick-or-treat horror game, but you can probably guess what happened next. The 31st October deadline was slowly creeping up on me.
Oh shit!
And I had very little progress to show for it, so I gave up again. Took some time off to think about my next project, and I came up with yet another idea, this time for a FNAF horror game, where you have to defend yourself from the invasion of snowmen by activating traps via cameras set up around your house. This one took me like 4 days to give up on. It's safe to say I was pretty bummed out because of my inability to fully commit to something. So here's the idea for a new game. You play as a child. You build a snowman. You put some cursed object on that snowman, and it comes to life. I've started by making a simple task manager that will keep track of the current objective and display the text that tells the player what to do. Then I've made a snowman building mechanic. You have these balls that you have to push, and the more distance it travels, the bigger it gets, until it doesn't get bigger anymore. You then have to roll these balls into designated area, and boom! You have a snowman. Collect some sticks, rocks, and boom! You have a fancy snowman. I wanted to see if my task manager could handle tasks on different levels, so I started building another level. And the first task there is to get some cookies. Well, that's a big time skip. I didn't record any footage when I was beautifying the game because it was just me making some models in Blender. But as you can see, it started to look decent. Then suddenly I came up with the idea of how to finish the game. Essentially, you have to turn the radiators around the house so that the evil snowman will melt. I know, that's genius. You have to turn the handle 5 times, and I've added some effects like air distortion. Radiator gets redder the more you turn it, so that the player knows that, hey, this thing actually works. I started working on the AI, which basically just roams around aimlessly. When it sees you, it chases you. You know, the basic stuff. I then whipped out Blender and got to work on the snowman model. Since the cursed object is a hat, I thought it would be a cool idea to have some sort of vines come out of this hat. After texturing and animating, I transferred my creation to Unreal. My next step was to make some credit screen when you start the game, because I thought it looked cool and really cinematic, almost like a movie. Setting it up was easy. It's just a widget with some animations on top. Since I was in the topic of widgets, I thought I would make a main menu screen. So I copied the backyard map, set up a snowman, positioned the camera, added some camera shake, and boom, main menu map complete. I've also added in-game menu, and I discovered this bug where if you press main menu button, it resumes the game, but when you press resume button, it takes you to main menu. Fixing it would take 10 seconds, but I kind of forgot about it, and fast forward a couple days later, when I packaged the game and playtested it, this bug became apparent. So the lesson is, if something takes you less than a minute, just do it. Sensu. Probably. I started working on the end cinematic, so as the camera pans around, you can see the radiators radiating heat, and because of it, the snowman melts, or rather, it just moves underground. But it looked bland, so I have added a snowman under the snowman, and as the snowman above moves underground, the underground snowman scales sideways, and it looks like the moving snowman is melting. At that time, my game was missing one very big feature: sound. I didn't really know what sound the snowman make, so I focused on the sound it would make when it slides around the house. I grabbed some of my dumbbells and started rolling them. I also grabbed my slipper, and I thought it made much better sound. For the radiators, I have used sounds from Pixabay, and when it comes to music, I also use Pixabay. I've also added some lamps with light switches because the player doesn't have a flashlight or other light source. There's only a faint glow around the player. I've made it so that the snowman can turn the lights off when it walks next to it, because why not? Now, my AI door interaction wasn't the best, so I opted for dynamic nav mesh generation. Sounds fancy, but not really. Yeah, not really. I came up with sound for the snowman. I wanted it to sound distorted, almost like it's in pain, and I recorded some sounds using my voice, and after some heavy editing, mostly with pitch, this is the result. I also thought it would be funny if there was a little jump scare, so what I did is after you enter the basement and then come out of it, this painting will appear, not really relevant to the story or anything, I just again thought it would be funny. Some light flickers, sound effects, minor model changes, eternal darkness. The game started to look more and more complete, since the house wasn't populated with stuff like plates, mugs, cutlery, clothing. I just disabled the interaction between player and furniture, because there was nothing in the drawers. I only spared the doors and some wardrobes, because when playtesting it, it turned out to be a good hiding spot, even though I didn't mean for it to be a hiding spot. And with that, it was time to package the game. Because honestly, I was just tired. I didn't care anymore. This whole entire project was just too chaotic. I almost gave up about 3 times when working on it. I just wanted to be done. So I rushed an itch.io page, and with all of that work, it was time to publish it. As you can see, some people played it, at least one person enjoyed it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And if somehow you're still watching, well, first of all, thank you, and have a nice day.